Xrock, or will it be Q9? Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to kick off our semifinals matchup. First team determined into grand finals. Let's do it.
Oh, and it's a grudge match. This is the one that I think everyone has been waiting to see. We only got small teases of it when we were at CDSI. Now, granted, of course, it did go the full distance, and the maps were very back and forth between the two. But now that there's no safety net of a double elimination bracket, it is a one and done $90,000 match between the top two teams from China. It's Xrock, it's Q9, our opening semifinal. Let's get it on.
Woke up this morning thinking that you can make it to the grand finals, but there is only one route, and it is right in front of you on the opposite side of the stage. Starting off on the favorite side of the map will be Xrock. They will at least be in favor for that P2 rotation, but spawns do flip routinely, especially when it comes down to Hacienda. But the opening gunfights are great for Xrock, and they completely clean house, maintain the high ground, and they're getting some time.
Large focus off the long-range battles. You even saw Ma starting off with a scope. He's actually still got it in hand with the mix of two Odins in play. So Xrock really trying to take the fight at range, and so far it has worked out as they jump back into the hard point, reclaim their lead for now, and Ma is dominating. Already got the hot hand with the Tundra out and early.
Gonna have to meet this somehow if you are Q9. Calling it a Predator missile before P2 rotation is even called for is a scary one, to say the least. But Q9 have been able to work their way not only into the hard point, but also on the mansion side, threatening the rotation early.
Yeah, looking good. The Pred missile largely negated just as Q9 survived through it. Hit coming through the water side of the map, though, over towards P2. Early rotation here for Xrock. Dead tie game, essentially, after the first hill has expired. Q9 trying to get top control over at Lambo. Fight back from Chuan, almost able to find a double, but does get taken out. Xrock finding wins from the front, but the spawns are still good for Q9 in the back as they look to try to re-break the hill.
It's going to be marching up this driveway. Someone's going to have to try to take a route, but by that time, 30 seconds will still remain. Good presence being held here for Xrock, trying to keep everybody at bay.
Good contest to this point, but now Q9's reinforcements start to come through. Pinch on the way, though. A couple of split spawns for Xrock. Have them now all of a sudden hitting both sides at once, and Ma lighting things up. Doesn't matter if he's got a scope. Doesn't matter if he's got an Odin. Give this guy whatever weapon you want. He's going to find a way to tally up kills, and that's so far what's come through. Q9, though, still spawning close, able to reinforce. Still 22 seconds to fight for, and a really great read on Xrock's off spawns towards well.
I mean, between Chuan and Ma, you're just being ripped to smithereens, and to be quite frank, the slaying isn't too far gone, but Q9 are just really good at being aggressive towards the back 20 seconds of every single hard point. Forces Xrock's hand just to utilize these close spawns and try to soak up the back 10 seconds. It's just about a dead even game, rotating over towards P3. Operators online.
Yeah, 3 in particular in favor of Xrock, but Uling does have the War Machine, and he is good with it. Opening first blood, good for Uling over towards P3. The hard point unlocks, and Xrock are still battling for top patio. Rushi able to find the high ground position for now, but needs to wait for help. War Machine gonna get popped. It's actually gonna be immediately countered as Uling is trying to get some damage done with his own, but Xrock kind of pinching on both sides at once are working out beautifully, leaving Uling by himself. He can only do so much in this position. Has to wait for help as he does find a couple of kills, allowing a re-entry to come through.
I mean, the immediate response, Uling pulls out the War Machine. You get a War Machine out of Rushi, and then a follow-up claw as well. And it's just overwhelming pressure coming through from Xrock again. They had the numbers, the ordinances are perfect from Sunyo, being able to find at least 2. So it's scrap time to fight over here, and look, Q9 are spawning all the way to the backside of the office. This is very alarming, but at least they're making the heads-up play, trying to send a couple players on different routes so they can threaten the rotation.
They're going to need to. The Purifier's locking things down over towards Tin as Xrock are soaking up the scrap time and out, putting their focus on rotation. Prime time to get an early listen in with Xrock.
他们下点到了啊！2楼一个，2楼一跌，2楼掉，牛逼！下点到了应该，别急，像我们昨天说的一样。他们下点有人，我确定。
车库水下有人，车库水下有人。
我来帮，我来帮，我来帮。
假沙楼一个，假沙楼一个。假沙楼火，假沙楼火，点点开火了。
我掉了，我丢闪了。
Smoke out。
打！
别急，回血。
点死了。我车库留，
车库扛。
这边死那个，点那个。
超不活了，超不活了！
点两个，点这个懂，没事的，没事的。我们打地面，我们打地面。OK， 我们打地面没事的，兄弟们。
点等花掉了，点等花没有，等花没掉。
可以来加点。
等花一丝。
车库看车库。
等花在点内呢。
闪到点内。
没事，漂亮。
A little bit of a double listen in there as we swapped over to Q9's comms as they try to find a way back in towards this final hard point of our first rotation. 20 seconds to fight for. Operators have all been expended here proper, and for the most part, it has been a pretty even exchange. Last scrap time going to tilt over towards Q9 as they've got full numbers ready to go.
And so far, when the first set of hard points, when resources are invested and returned back, Xrock have come out on top of when it comes down to Gunny and then fighting for the back scrap time. Q9 have had a little bit of an edge. This back 5 seconds should be soaked up by them. Last little contest coming through from Ma, so it'll go and be neutral. 98-75 going back towards the center of the map. Some very key resources being invested. Uling's going to open it up with a Pred.
Yeah, just need to get a feel of what Xrock is doing on this rotation. So Pred Missile will be called in just to get the information out. Now an opportunity to fight back from the high ground. Rushi inside, finding some early time. Chuan with them, trying to move over towards the secret hallway here. But Q9, good window presence. They've really slocked things down and at least made life difficult for Xrock. And with the kills starting to tilt their way, now an opportunity for them to fight for the hill itself. A little bit of extra time being tallied, but Rushi actually going to pull out a war machine here. Bold call to say the least. Not often you see it pulled in this position, but he does find one connection, and with that, Xrock can get back on the hill.
Split spawns might have scared him. Did have at least one player for Q9 that was starting to threaten through open staircases, but now the spawns have more or less subsided themselves. One rogue spawn's going to come over towards well, and tough gunfight to have for yourself right off the spawn, but Chuan just gets smoked. And now you got to be worried about that entire position if you are Xrock, who took an immediate focus to soak up more time on P1, which to be fair, they did get 40 plus. War Machine wasn't a terrible investment here, but now you've lost the rotation to New.
Yeah, and you've got a really good spread of the map right now for Q9. They're going to get a read that the well spawns are still open. In fact, actually, they have 2 players spawn right there themselves. I'm sure that was a pleasant surprise. They clean up the driveway. Now all the focus can happen over towards the front. Uling has the war machine at the ready. Would be a good time to use it, considering that all of Xrock are hitting from the front. Hasn't popped it yet, and apparently he doesn't need to. Finding the kills from topside. Lambo has looked good. Curly's also on the pinch as Xrock found a chance to contest, but the spawns are still in, and Q9 are quick to get back on the hard point.
Studio's gonna rip the claw. It's gonna start asking between him and Ma when they were gonna start diving into these resources just for the break. It finds 3 more bullets on the head glitch, loses his life. It's the response from Uling, pulls out the war machine just to try to belittle these individuals with ordinances around the water, inside of the garage. It works out perfectly.
Nice little heroic moment for Sunyo. Looked like Q9 was just going to jump right back into the hill immediately, but he gets a little bit of extra time tallied for Xrock. Now the spawns a little bit more chaotic as it's split between both 2 teams in the back. Trying to win out onto the hard point itself is Rushi, but he is by himself and he will be overwhelmed. So the scrap time's going to go to Q9. Xrock at a bit of a tricky spot here. They're in lobby. They could stall the rotation for Q9, but with these secondary spawns happening towards Rock, they're going to take the long route around the back.
But one player slipped the net, but Mauchi just gonna sock one right into Sunyo's jaw. And that could open up things to maybe move a little bit further forward over by the gardens. You did have one player that did get gunned by Q9, so now you know the flank is secure. So it's a square up, operator still online.
Curly is the one to keep an eye on. Can he hit a route with these equalizers? He has been one of the best players with that operator all weekend long, and they may need it. Here's Xrock looking solid from the front. Purifier, War Machine all being spent. Curly trying to find an angle to get in, but not going to be allowed a chance for it. Spawns will move, but Xrock looking solid inside the hill.
Yeah, they sure are. War Machine invested will now dissipate. So it's just about holding these angles, make sure nobody's flanking all the way through. That was going to be picked up by Sunyo, loses that gunfight, and now the hit from the back will find success. 20 seconds still left to fight over here, and if you're Xrock, you're feeling quite okay with this spawn flip that came through. You should have a free rotation. You should not care about this time.
Problem is, Mauchi's cleaning everything up very quickly with this claw out. It has been a great operator for him, and now he's working on the long rotation back towards bottom bar, up to office. On the same front, Shen over the middle, big 1v1 win. That allows an opportunity for Q9 to string scrap to initial. Just comes down to, can they read the spawns, which are a bit split right now for Xrock.
Got one player lurking for Uling around the office building. Doesn't really have an angle to watch these players flanking all the way through. Might just catch everybody from Q9 by surprise, and now Curly with the equalizer, to your point, has been so electric with them all weekend. Lost, loses their life. Not the investment that you were looking for, as there's still ample time to fight for here at 4.
A little crossed up right there as there was a hit coming from the open stairs as well as from backside boathouse. Exchange looking decent though as Q9 just take the fight right back onto the hard point. Predator missile also putting him into a little bit of effect. Uling thinking about maybe pulling the War Machine here. Thought for a second he had dropped it out, but may have put it right back into the back pocket as Xrock are having a tough time breaking until Chuan finds himself a double from the front. Now an opportunity to reinforce this from water side. Looking decent, especially with Ma, has the Annihilator out, but he's kind of in the same position Curly was. They need to get a little bit more help, and No-No's going to provide it with the equalizers. Get out of his way. He's shredding everything. It's a full team wipe for No-No.
Just at 5 feet for No-No, 1 name, 5 kills. Talk about investment coming through with the equalizer. Stark differences, but there's still an opportunity for Q9. fully bring themselves back into this game. They only trail by just 40. So it's not out of the woods that they can make this happen on a map pick of Hacienda, a map pick that they've beaten Xrock on before.
It's just one of those things where Q9 just do not have the edge in some of these really key fights. I think especially as they put together their setups around these hard points. This is already, though, much better over the top of P1. Rushi working on it, trying to get some action over towards the open stairs. Not going to fully work out as Xrock have to hit through the U-Haul, and the kills are good. Q9 lose their high ground control. Ma just jumps in from the high ground, but Uling, he pulls out the war machine. That'll be good for an opening two, and then finds the third one down low, plus a fourth. Uling again light things up as Q9 get back into the hill.
He's leading the entire lobby as far as kills are concerned, and a lot of those kills are coming through the war machine. 47 kills now for Uling. 174 to 204. Still have scrap time to fight over here, but look at the positional advantage that Q9 do have on the map so far. They do have the water side of the map that's forcing Xrock's hand. Try to hit through the open archway. If you can contest the time, that's great, but you have to get these numbers to Lambo.
This hard point still open though at P1. Xrock will have two members spawn deep away from the second hard point. So what can Rushi find? He feels the pressure. He's popped the war machine, but he gets immediately shut down. Trophy system in place. Uling locking down the front, and now you've got full status control for Q9 with the Sparrow to boot. A massive moment in the hard point.
Yep, Sparrow will just keep all these players at bay through these choke points. You're gonna have to try to contest eventually. And well, you're just gonna get immediately bolted to the dome. Two-piece coming through for Sun. And now it's all eyes forward. Another 1v1 actually happening over by the rocks. Predator missile called in, confirms the information. Q9 about to take the lead.
Sun thought he had a good angle for that Pred missile, just rushed it forward. It doesn't land into the player's back driveway, but it doesn't make a difference because Q9 are able to pick up on the flip of the spawns. Now it's back to Xrock. Most of this hit coming from the front. Sun, the one just hoping he can find good timing, but it's actually gonna be just a full pinch from the side door that takes him out of commission. Xrock back into the hard point. 15 seconds to fight for. Chuan trying to get the purifier, and that's immediately shut down. Q9 with a little bit of life, but they are still stuck spawning on the left side of the map as you rotate to new.
Scary, someone did slip the net though. It's Sun. He's already past the garden side. He's gonna have an isolated 1v1 as the rest of Xrock are just lighting things up over by Lambo will finally subside. But there's no more time to grab here over by the Lambo. Still straight gunfights happening, but now numbers on the other side of the map for the rotation favoring that of Xrock, but Q9 has the closer spawns.
Chen over the backside. Q9 spawning close. Xrock feeling the pressure. Pop the claw immediately. Just trying to spam down and slow this Q9 approach. No from the front is good, but Curly with the equalizers. Only able to find the first. Sunyo with the claw dissipating. Still hanging on. No trying to get the information. Rushes forward as he understands that Q9's coming through tin side. Can he put together the same kind of presence that we saw from Curly earlier? Now it's just down to it.
Oh my.
Uling, he's able to collapse with the war machine and the break is in.
And then Chen also pulls out the operator for a purifier. That's a lot more space that you can take away, suppressed by all of these grenades. 235 to 227. Can still win it here if you are Q9, if you hold on to all the time.
Operator out for Rushi. He's able to find a double with a nade. Now it's just the war machine getting to work, trying to spam things down. He's able to connect to the players inside the hard point. No one can win here. We're going to a new hard point. No more operators available. Q9 will be there first, but Xrock with these clean kills can rotate quickly.
Gonna have to try to bunker up. You do have those close off the spawns as well. I love what I'm seeing out of Xrock, just try to cut through where you think the spawns are happening, and they also get assistance from the boathouse.
They're finding the kills around the back. The Hunter Killer Drone's gonna hit onto Uling. Chen's the last one left. He gets taken out by a Pred missile. 242 is where it stops for Q9. Need to find a way to break. They've got split spawns. Can they pitch this up? No, they can't because Chuan gets the double. One more player to find. They're looking the wrong direction though. Chen's able to get in for some contest. The help is here. Q9, can you find the kills? Ruchi not able to find anything. All of a sudden, Q9 find themselves favorable in the kill feed. Back and forth we go. 242, 246, still the contested play. Toronto on the back gets shut down. Q9 just need to find one more wave of kills. 3 more seconds needed. No one's able to contest. Q9 rip away the hard point from Xrock and strike first.
A lot closer than I'm sure Q9 wanted, coming into their own map pick here on map number 1, but they are going to feel great with the conclusion. A dub is a dub at the end of the day, and a crucial mistake coming through there at the end for one of the players out of Xrock who was really worried about the flank. It kind of forced a 3v4 once all of those boathouse spawns came through for Q9, and then they were completely able to overwhelm everybody from Xrock that was either lingering from the Lambo spawns or just not really ready for the gunfight as well. Great isolation there at the end for Q9 across a multitude of different hills. They were down, but truly never out of this entire situation, and Uling was trying his damnedest the entire game. A Herculean performance out of Uling in particular. The war machine was emphatic, and every single bit of pressure that we saw all the way to the game's end was true.
What a wake-up call here in Atlanta. Woo-hoo-hoo! Give me more of that. Insert it right into my veins. Unbelievable start. And just the adversity that Xrock were able to throw together. This moment in particular, you thought the momentum was just gonna go all to the Chinese #1 team, but not to be. The scrap battle through P3, the rotation to 4, and then all of a sudden, the SMGs lighten things up, finding ways for Q9 just to hold a narrow edge. Uling in particular, locking down the long-range headies, setting up the final moments. Unreal start and a massive win for Q9 to kick off this series on the right foot.
I mean, should we get an opportunity to look at these? Very good.
That's a little in
of their region, but
or lockdown. Xrock are not only talking about that, there's going to be a lot more.
One of those 7-1s, by the way, watch CDSI there. The small talk happening on
the defensive side was good dissect, enter in with good utility, hope that you can win out a multiple 5v3, 5v2, whatever it happens to be, hold good post plants, don't get picked on crosses, and get yourself a chance for a quick post plant setup. That's what China's known for, and boy, were they needed here.
That's a long grocery list. We might see you back until dinner.
Do you know it?
This ought to be a fun one, man. Get locked and loaded. There's going to be a lot of good utility nerding out that's going to be happening over here. Ceremonious stuns over the top. Everybody just kind of waiting patiently, trying to see what they can find with the picks.
And when Xrock had played this map versus Wolves, they started on the defensive side. So this will be our first real true look to see what they have to offer on the attack.
That's true.
Yeah. Trophy systems are down here for Q9 to establish a front line right in front of the scaffolding. Just a delayed nade over towards the top side where P4 would usually be. And Q9 look like they're pretty steady to kind of just hang on to these windows and these little point of contact corners.
Yeah, no need to over-aggress yourself. I mean, if there's going to be one thing that you might see, it could be a Fennec and R9 in the hands of Curly or another individual taking abuse over by the control building, but this is round one as it possibly gets through takeoff. A minute has gone by the wayside, and still all 10 players are alive.
Yeah, really good patience here from Q9. Xrock are just waiting to see if someone from Q9 is going to get antsy, throw a shoulder. Has not happened yet. Uling on one cross, watching over towards the B side of the map. Chen playing alongside Sun will be on the other. Trophy systems denying some early utility. Shots over the middle of the map. Curly's in trouble. Does get it with a little bit of separation. He backs off. Defensive nades now coming through to respond to this play, but Xrock haven't committed yet.
Jump for player number 3, specifically for Xrock. Nono's just waiting for the bomb to be planted to try to commit towards his flank.
Yeah, and now the retake is fully underway. Nades trying to come through, does not connect onto the exit. Do you have a smoke for retake here if you're Q9? May not make a difference because that island player that you talked about, Nono's just waiting for the right time to go, and it may be here. First shots will land. That's enough for Q9 to get this retake underway. Chen, Uling working to the middle of the map. When is Nono going to get involved here? You got to start making a play forward. The kills are still coming through. And Sun, wait, he's just going to hop onto this.
Wait.
Nono never gets part of the play.
So let me try to understand this fully with Nono's weaponry of choice and the positioning that he was holding on the map. Instead of flanking or holding the angle over by scaffolding, he was just making sure that nobody flanked through the stadium.
Yeah, but the thing about that is that whole post plant setup was about him clutching.
Correct. It was all about him committing towards the flank and isolating the players. So a little bit of a misfire coming through, but Q9's patience does pay off. They win the first.
And I think in particular, their quick execution on the retake, notable, as Xrock were falling like flies.
Yeah.
So good opening offense coming through, and now all of a sudden Q9 looking to get aggressive. They've got Sun in towards Stadium already. Oh, it's really dicey. Maz nearby, so is another. That was Nono initially, and that little bit of extra pressure will push back this Q9 defense.
Just nobody wants to give any sort of inch to breathe, but Ma will strike first blood. So numbers now here for Xrock, and albeit even getting the bomb planted in the previous round, it's just about the post-plant execution that they faltered on. So what can you do now that you do have a man up in this round?
Offensive smoke gets thrown towards Abe. That's just a fake. It does pull the defense further down towards the south side of the map. In particular, keep your eye on Mao Shi, number 2 in blue. He is the only defender on B. He's holding a pixel corner. Ma still trying to take away the mid-angle. In a good spot to make sure there is no push through, but he's already kind of missed a bit of timing. I was about to say, Uling has already kind of gotten himself into a good position to get a trade. That will work out. And now there's scaffold control here for Xrock, or for Q9. Xrock need to clean that back up. They're going for a smoke plant. Shots are coming through, but the bomb does get planted.
Now it's retake time. Curly's going to be one of the first ones to take through the middle of the map of Malcheat. Odin will ring true. 3v3 post.
No, this time playing a little bit more aggressively around that post plant. Sunyo looking to play a little bit deeper off the scope, just making sure there is no flank on the way. Big 1v1 contact here, and okay. Mauchi will drop, and the last one standing will be Chen. And yep, he does at least get across onto Sunyo, but time is of the essence, and he will not get past that scaffolding play.
Yeah, numbers advantage comes through off the opening pick. That's a great start, but do what we are seeing out of Xrock. It's very enjoyable, and once they finally have the opportunity to get up to the mid-map, they wait for that one smoke grenade, they commit towards the plant, and just really hope that Q9 just does not start spraying or have late utility to stop them from that plant. So they'll answer back in kind. It was all off the back end of getting that first blood from Ma. I can only imagine that Q9 are going to alter the way that they're rolling out here defensively.
Yeah, a little bit of a later trophy placement towards B. So some of the early nades from Xrock were not initially denied. That, again, is one of those moments where no information is still information. Nades not landing means no one's home. But will Xrock try to commit through any of that intel that was offered by Q9? Doesn't look like it in the moment. Just kind of still hoping and praying that these opening snipers can find a good first blood contact.
They're so conflicted off of that late trophy, too.
Yeah.
It's like, is it no information or was it delayed? How many mind games are you willing to play? Dodging with a bullet. Gonna add an extra drip of sweat down your brow. But everything stays pretty standard. Now Xrock are starting to take a forward approach over through the middle of the map. This has be execute written all over it.
Yeah, sure does. That's been their bomb site of preference in the last 2 rounds. Looks like it will be for a 3rd straight one. Sun looking for a cross over the top of the mid-statue fountain area. Smoke will come down. That's usually enough for a go call to be executed. But Sun hits. Unreal. Through the smoke. That's your bomb carrier down. And now Xrock are in trouble. They've lost their ability to try to follow up on a quick post punt. They have to throw their secondary smoke just to try to recover. And at least fortunately, they get a trade back as Uling drops.
I was about to say, watch out for that one play, though. That is currently being put together by Chen. Gonna at least go 1 for 1, but you can just play the trade game and it should work out in Xrock's favor.
Oh. Chuan got cold feet, was halfway through the plant,
yeah,
steps off of it. Weird moment between the sniper rifles, but Ma hits both. I mean, it looked like he was caught off guard. For him to be able to quick scope the first and then reset and not miss on the second, whoa.
First blood, clutch moments, Ma lives for it all. And it all becomes null and void on you sticking the plant or not in a 2v2. Here comes some Suns.
Yeah,
this is a lot more of an aggressive approach for Q9 in this round.
Yeah, with the smoke through mid, they're looking to try to isolate quickly over towards the top side of the map. That is a beautiful, aggressive defensive stance. You smoke mid, you block the snipers, you throw a nade behind it to make sure no one's playing through the smoke, and then you flash and dash up towards top mid. Counteraction play, though. Xrock say, you want to get aggressive at the top of the map? We'll get aggressive at the bottom.
It's an immediate response, and it's so respectable. I mean, look how much space Chuan was able to get all the way to the backside of the side with it going down.
What a nade over the top, though. Chuan trying for some spam over towards scaffold side. Curly around the back, trying to clear things out, but it's Uling who gets there first. Now he can just hop this, but problem is, Chuan was still watching the angle. Of course, now his position is known, but he's finessing beautifully. Ma also hits over towards this 1v2 towards Sun. Mauchi now trying to find his way over to help his teammate. It's just an anime battle between the 2 snipers. Comes out in favor of Q9, and Sun will do what Ma had done previously. Another nice set of kills from the scope, and Q9 will tie us at 2.
It's weird how you go from one round of Ma hitting one of the nastier quick scopes that we have seen all weekend to that little Benny Hill music playing in the middle of the stadium sniper 1v1, but what was almost about to be for Xrock in a numbers disadvantage post-plant situation, a fantastic response just to agree that, hey, you're taking the B side of the map, we'll go back over towards A. As we go in towards this round number 5, gonna be putting a couple more players. Are Xrock in position to try to deny that scaffolding push this time?
Same deep defensive smoke thrown at mid. Counter flashes get pulled because of that, but Xrock have now used that utility for really no good reason in terms of how it was finding its effectiveness. Q9 was not actually pushing up, and they may actually consider a delayed hit top mid. They got some good mid pressure already established towards the bottom side of the fountain with Sun watching this deep cross. They may decide to have some sort of a late play here to try to get back in towards that top P4 position again.
I think Xrock are just super worried about Chen trying to get back inside of the scaffolding area, but it's allowed Sun to get back up through the middle of the map. It's not top scaff, it's at the bottom of it, and Sun is holding a very aggressive angle. Big first blood to have.
And he's going to reposition, watch a different angle on this secondary cross, knowing that there could be some sort of a follow-up, and there was, but he changes the position again, and this time he gets caught. Ooh, don't know how I feel about that. Sun was in a good spot to still hold over towards the bomb site. Uling was watching this cross, but he puts himself in the line of fire, and that now counteracts the trade into a 4v4.
Bob's still resting on Xrock's side. Someone needs to pick that up, and we need to start committing towards the side because we're down to 40 seconds, and there's not a whole lot of information that has been cleared over here in the lounge.
Yeah, the problem is, I think for the side of Q9's defense is that Xrock know they've got mid-map supremacy.
Yeah.
Shutting down that scope at mid now allows them to do this, play off scaffold, and of course also play over towards the generators. Ma now sticking for the plant. This would be a heroic 2v4 retake. It starts with Chen, R9 in hand. First shot misses, second shot lands, but it's not enough for the kill. Ma with the quick kill. Just down to Mauchi. 1v3 for him if we can catch his POV. Doesn't matter. Ma is able to find the quick connection, and that'll be enough.
Yeah, it's just the timing, having the numbers advantage regardless. There's only so much that you can watch with so many angles that can still be hit on the opposite side, but Xrock will take that one-round lead. Final round in this half, is it going to be even Stevens to flip the sides, or does Xrock have something special planned?
Yeah. Well, here we go. No smoke, just a flash and dash. But Sunyo, watching from top scaffold, lands for the first. The counter flash is there, and you thought there may have been an opportunity for Xrock just to steamroll this play, but not to be. Opening exchange, again, gets us to an early numbers advantage. Xrock with the offensive pressure, looking to make a play over towards A, and this is all down what Uling can hit, playing aggressive. He has to hold his ground.
Oh, we're gonna have to put a pin in this. Got something to break down after this round finishes. But it's a great lurk play coming through from all of Xrock to deny the flank. But again, that setup aggressively over by the B lane was set up to orchestrate Xrock to aggressively hit back over towards A. And what Q9 wanted was just that, for them to meet them inside of the stadium. But Xrock were too privy to it. They read it, they gunned them, they have a 2-round lead on the side swap.
Huge on the opening pick as well from Sunyo. 4-2, side swap. Smokes are down early for both sides as Q9 are looking to get aggressive right through the top side of P4, but no one's looking over towards middle. And Xrock are able to use their setup to set up a bit of a crossfire. That's enough for a 2-for-1 exchange. Hit is still on the way. Sniper battle again. It's anime fight round 2. Sun going to the machine pistol, wants to chase this down, while meanwhile Uling is able to find Rushi, and this may lead to an opportunity for Q9 to flip the numbers from a 4v3 to a 3v2.
Sun is so confused. Where did Ma go? Went back over towards the scaffolding. And got Chuan to worry about around the stadium. The B side is more than vacated. Tough to say with Ma's positioning.
Yeah,
no angle on it whatsoever. They're just going to stack together, get caught out inside control.
Yeah, Xrock just got a little bit lost there. I think the Q9 were still playing largely in front of the scaffolding. Not the case. They're still playing behind in your spawn. So a great opening offensive round gets Q9 back to within 1. And that asserts a certain level of identity to how they may try to play this, with the aggressive hit immediately coming off the get-go towards B.
They're just going to have to be worried about it. I mean, Ma does cause a little bit of odyssey with that push. I mean, he got all the way inside of the base for Q9, but they're looking to flip things up. Maybe trying to catch a player from Xrock, getting aggressive over by the A-bomb site. Stuns, nade, smokes over through the middle of the map. They are already on the A side.
Nade will land at Mauchi. 3 smokes down. Quick commitment for the plant. Curly playing bodyguard. Xrock try to chow this, and Modest runs in by himself. Crossfire setup is decent for the trade, though, so numbers will still stay with Xrock. Now they start to collapse. Tron laying down the damage. Oh, but the shots up top don't fully come through. Chen does get traded. 1v3. Sun now by himself. What can he do? The answer, nothing, as No-No locks down the angle, and Xrock will get their 5th.
2 more rounds away for Xrock, tying up this series. I thought it was all just going to be falling by the wayside. I just didn't think that Ma wanted to die that quickly.
Yeah.
Went swinging him blindly instead of waiting for his team. Silly goose. But still, a lot more work to do here for Q9. The aggression over towards B was met, and they tried to flip it back over towards A. This time they are going back to what worked in their opening round.
This is the same thing for 3 straight rounds. Offense smokes both sides of the statue, but this time Xrock decided to challenge it. They just push right through. They don't care about the smokes. And it works out so beautifully initially, but then they get caught in kind of a crossfire setup. Long route for the defense around the back. That's Ma, who could possibly just find an angle from here. Good shots from Wuling, but no one has any idea where Ma is, and he's taking advantage of it. First shot will land, but now Q9 are aware of the threat.
The sneaky flanking sniper in a 1v1 versus Sun. The anime fight will continue.
Yeah.
Bomb's going to get planted here, and now I'm curious, with the bomb being planted where it is, how quickly can Ma isolate the information on where Sun might be?
Yeah, Ma does have 2 pieces of utility if he wants to use it. Sun predicting it's going to be a long wrap around through the defensive spawn. He has guessed incorrectly for now, but the longer this takes, the more certain he will be that he has guessed the right spot. Here's the smoke. Here's the play. This is a massive round for Q9. Sun defaulting to the pistol, thinking he's hot for the defuse. Not the case. So now Sun has had to play this straight up in Ma around the back. Whoa! Get out of my face. Where do you think I am? That's not there. And Xrock will get their 6 down on map point.
Map point, 1 round away from tying up the series, guaranteeing us to go to the Apocalypse map number 4. But Ma is a real issue. And I don't just mean that because he's got 12 kills, for crying out loud, but he's so lucrative. With the way he is manipulating the map with a sniper rifle and getting in these egregious positions, it is catching Q9 off guard. He's isolating players left, right, and center. Need this for Q9. Hopefully to see another round here in the search.
Different look this time. Xrock committing a couple of extra nades on this mid-staircase, which has often been smoked by Q9. Not the case this time. Q9 just taking a bit of a pause, letting this round play out a little while longer. But the thing about this is a weird round to make this kind of a play happen because you don't really know what the Xrock default setup is, largely due to the fact that you've rushed at them the last 3 rounds. So this is going to be a lot of figuring out for Q9.
And with all the utility already being thrown, you haven't seen the one adaptation from the opening offensive round, and that's that Rushi has now taken a forward approach to watch the exit out of the control building. And that's causing a considerable amount of doubt for Q9. They don't have any information at all. With a minute already going by from the game clock, they're going to have to make a decision. It seems they're going to default back towards his B push. Rushi's the guy to watch.
Is there anyone on the cross here? There's the first smoke. Nade, whoa, initially was meant to toss in towards mid-map. It doesn't get there for the defense. So Xrock kind of have to back off and respect the smoke here just a touch. Flash also lands onto Maushi, who's still alive, but the information's now known, and Q9 are looking to isolate him.
He just concedes the space, gives it up. That means the bomb's going to get planted for free, but watch out for the sniper angle trying to be taken. Sunio gets punished for it, but Chuan responds.
And now it's just time to get hit the quick scope, and Wuling will miss. Chuan takes down 2. And this is a huge position for Xrock to try to clear. Sun also comes up a bit awry. Not often you see that, and this is why I was saying Chuan puts the right play forward, shuts down the ability for the Q9 clutch up spot through scaffold to be utilized, but the kills are still decent. So now it's all on to Chuan. This would have to be a 4-kill round and a 1v2 clutch for him. Moving quickly. He's already been heard surely by Mauchi off of that slide. Here's the play out, and yep, there's just nowhere to go. So Q9's post plant stay very stable on the backside of the play, and it brings them to within 2.
So need the 2 more, force out the overtime. Easy peasy, right? But I do love just the late utility being held for the unknown quantities that we were kind of suggesting for Q9 for that execute. It works out fully in their favor, pushing all of Xrock back. They pissed off Xrock, all these nades over the top, but Q9 looking to get aggressive through control early this time.
Shots through mid-map, not largely landing for Q9. Xrock come away with the first 2, and then you've got No playing aggressively. Have not said his name much here as Wuling is able to battle back and at least find 2, but it's just not enough. The quick action from Xrock trying to step up the tempo works, and that'll be enough for them to take their search and destroy map pick and tie up our series at 1.
Oh, kind of messes with the map differential now. They've allowed more than a single round to come through. Unbelievable, but tied up the series nonetheless. Both teams winning their opening map picks. Nobody's utterly surprised besides the way that the opening map had ended. But look, this is 1-for-1 what we saw from Xrock on this exact map versus Wolves on this exact weekend. If you will not punish them for their aggression early and their sniper rifles continue to get in these very annoying positions, they will deny you any round wins whatsoever. But Q9 were prepared for it. I mean, I do love the 4D chest that we at least got to see from both sides out of Q9, respecting what Xrock were throwing their way, responding in kind, maybe throwing out a different piece of utility to just try to get their SMGs in a better position. But still, the sniper rifle from Mob, the first bloods that came through. The clutch ability of this man today was just too much.
Yeah, I think that's the big point, right? Is the ability for Ma to not just find value early with the scope, but in particular late.
Yeah.
You know, it just allows you to play the map from such safer range. I think in particular, when we start to kind of reduce the numbers, the scopes for Q9, we're just not hitting in the same way that Sunyo and Ma were. So split across.
Hesitation. They
Don't forget the lines that we've preferred map. Going to be a very
to make those of that map number 1 on Hacienda, which
other side. I think stage
pretty impressive.
Was chaos. The stack.
Yes.
First, this spawn trap in play when you.
We're always just happily considering the 1-win condition, and that's just eliminate everybody. It's that easy. Just got to get through 30 lives. It's no problem at all. But the objective is your best friend when it comes down to raid control. So many corners, so many different.
Offense, give it to us. Let me get it.
Very excited once we do end up seeing some of these operators online. On this main stage right now, you have some of the best when it comes down to macro management. Juwan's going to strike for the first blood as well. This is going to be an overall 50-50 of the fight for ring. Xrock do have numbers in this position, but I mean, Chen is just in your face. Good luck.
He's like hitting you with like a Nerf gun.
Yeah.
Just like.
Like that. That was actually the sound effects. You guys
I know.
hear it? It was muted. Yeah.
I'm the voice actor for the sound effects for the KRM. There it is again. Shed now all of a sudden can put some pressure on towards the gym. This will force Xrock to spawn bottom side of the map, which means that they will have to take their efforts over towards A. Mid-map focus, trying to come through. Chuan's able to take down one. That splits the Q9 defense up just a touch. He actually comes back to the fight, and now all of a sudden, you got mid-map control. You've dealt with the flank, and you're on stopping the clock and getting progress at A.
This is such a massive moment for Rushi. I mean, albeit having Odin, he's making it work. Gonna be able to at least take down one. Is Curly trying to get through the wheelbarrow window, but Sunyo will be there to shut things down. Second segment's gonna get locked before U9 are able to fully get on the zone.
Chen is not quite able to get through the money window. That may be a chalk and rotate moment. Maybe one more chance to contest this if Q9 want to, but instead they're gonna play for exits as Sun lands. He's gonna go for it. He's gonna get it. What? And now you've got Curly making a move like Mike Tyson in the flesh. Not quite able to get there with the hands. Chuan's still trying to force the issue here, and with a little bit of assistance, they will get back on, but not before Q9 are able to deplete most of the progress of the third tick.
You're kind of forced to keep assaulting this if you are Xrock. You're down by 4 lives, but look at the positional advantage. Malchi is in your spawn and is constantly being looked at, but Chuan won't be allowed to get past the AC unit in a very annoying position to be in if you are Xrock. You trail by 4 lives. You just need this one more segment, but there's simply not enough time, you'd fear.
Yep, good elimination to clean out the spawn just a touch. Solo play for No-No up towards B to stop the clock, and boy, does Xrock need that. Q9 have re-cleared out A. They fully depleted the third tick of progress, and now all efforts for Xrock have to move over towards the A zone, perfect the B zone. Xrock trying to get there with numbers. Sunyo over the top, shot at range. Juling almost able to find the transfer for both, but does enough damage to credit the assist. 12 plays 6, 15 seconds on the clock, and Xrock have one more chance to break open this B point.
I mean, by the time that they fully realize maybe we should just go over towards B, clear away our spawn, it's just not enough time. Now you're running out of lives. 3 plays up against 10. Sun's still ringing true with the sniper rifle. And Uling starting to deny a lot more space over by Ring. This stack for Q9, knowing that they have every single bit of advantage is fantastic, and Xrock just don't want to give over more kills. Maybe not give over more scores. Well, maybe see those operators a little bit later when it comes down to this round. So, what is that? A total of 3 segments off of 2 different zone captures for Xrock, where realistically, I mean, it was an egregious retake from Q9, but it worked out.
Yeah, I was about to say, Ruchi was around A. He had a free sight to sit out and stop the clock at about 8 seconds. Just didn't choose to do so.
Yep.
So Xrock now the defense. Rushi, the only one who had earned an operator in the first round, has already popped it. It's the War Machine. It's only connected once to this point. It immediately gets shut down. Opening defensive pressure, though, for Xrock is largely successful. Q9 working on it, though, as they will stop the clock and get a little bit of a stack on towards the B point with Uling supporting with the War Machine.
Yeah, War Machine for War Machine. Uling's War Machine will now run out of ammunition, but it was fiery, to say the least, in the Hacienda map #1. Big assistance for Q9 why they took that first map. Second segment has been locked. Still trailing by 1 life is Xrock from the opening salvo, but they are just chalking it. Get yourself inside of that garage. Set up for a spawn trap. Make sure nobody can lurk through mid-map.
But look at the awareness from Q9. They know that this is a possibility. They're sending 2 players back, and one of them is Sun, who clears out the gym. If he gets this second one inside the garage, just don't challenge him anymore. And it looks like Sunyo saying, I already don't want to challenge him, Shift. I'm out of there. The rest of Xrock holding over towards Pool. Claw is out, though, for Q9 as they try to clear out the area of backside laundry.
Do love this call for Curly. Mauchi's actually going to invest the Annihilator as well. Will take down No-No, and they're going to start assaulting jungle. But what's the response on the opposite side? It's going to be Sunyo with the Sparrow. A little bit of a base race for a base race. Nice turn for Mauchi to at least take down No-No, making sure that they are not a part of that fight. And you have a player on the control zone as well, but they were by themselves. So Sunyo, Sparrow will clean house. They will maintain control on this side of the map.
Yeah, it's really nice placement from the Sparrow. For a moment, I was like, this isn't really finding value, but he comes back to the point, takes down 2 around the back, but it doesn't stop Q9 from getting over towards his own. Prent missile right on into the spawn, finds 2. Sun connects for a 3rd. Curly on the equalizers through Kitchen. Rip them apart. 20 plays 9. Q9 looking good to stay on the A zone. First hit going to be locked. More to come.
Equalizer, about half empty.
Mercy.
Might as well just do what you did originally, Curly. Just sprint at them. Equalizing. A couple players coming off the respawn, though. 4 lives remaining for Xrock again, and you know that Q9 should be stacking this zone, but don't count on Xrock. They're working their way back in.
Yeah, nice shots coming through. Clears things out, but the road to victory in this second round is arduous, to say the least.
Oh, big word.
4v13. Ruji inside Kitchen, isolated. Good 2v1 situation there. Ma following up, does get 2, but still, how do you survive a 2v10, especially with the pressure already on the zone? The answer is you don't. Last player to find his top window, and No-No does stay alive, but still, smoke down. Clock will continue to stop, and Q9 will find him in Kitchen. Q9 up 2-0 early in the control.
Yeah, that's devastating coming through for Xrock. Not only are you down as far as 2 rounds are concerned, the segments are just not good as well. The trade department is just so superior. Mauchi is double positive at 14-7, 15-9 coming through. For another, but Q9, again, it just seems that they can do no wrong. Their trade game, just assaulting different portions of the map, is that much more superior for Xrock, who are assaulting B zone to start.
Oh, great opening, though. Ma finds 2 through mid-zig. Uling able to confirm the trade now, pushing up in towards Art, but he doesn't really have the ability of going much further. He doesn't have any defensive pressure from Laundry side, and the awareness from Xrock is great. You got to keep in mind, that first offensive round was not unwinnable for Xrock, and they're already finding great success this time breaking off towards B.
Yeah, I mean, the opening breakoffs have been good for Xrock. It's just the returning gunfights consistently through the past 2 rounds just simply have not been. Uling has another War Machine. Starting to push all the way inside Art. Clears all
what
Art,
a trophy.
Ma is holding it. Good trophy system will deny the grenade from actually getting towards Ma, and he will deny any more value with that operator. 4 operators online currently for Xrock. You have to feel like they need to start using some of these just to extend the clock.
Well, smokes are out. That's going to block the money window and the topside jump wall over towards the opposite zone. Sun's going to rotate over. And No-No will get to work with the equalizers inside a Kitchen. The problem is he loses his teammates on the A zone. And once more, you have the situation for Xrock where you're trying to finesse the map, but you're really not finding the success on the actual zones themselves. You're down to 25 seconds. No-No re-rapid and try to get back over towards Tiki. And they cannot find Chen. Finally, they get the connection from Sunyo, and they can stack over towards this B point. But boy, do they need the extra 60 seconds. They need it now.
You have a 3-life lead. 4 operators still online for Xrock. Just try to use some of these resources, get around the zone. The clock is still being stalled over by B. You have players lurking for Q9, denying any driveway shenanigans that might come through, but the Annihilator's invested for Ma. You need the 60.
Ma only finds 1, though. Trade out from Chen, who's locking down this backside jungle position. The setup around the B point is pretty darn good for Q9. Still, the A zone is not fully captured. It's temp tempting, I think, for Q9 to try to get back to it to see if they can put more pressure on the clock. But as Curly gives it an effort, he will drop, and with that, the extra 60 is tallied. And now here comes the player on the back soon. Good for the first two. Can't quite capitalize on the third as Curly gets to work on maybe another 1v2 moment, but no, cannot land the shots. And now you're just down to 4 lives if you're Q9.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, if you're Q9, you're never going to work your way back fully into that zone, not being down by so many lives, but they are winning some gunfights. The biggest concern for me, 3v10, if you can get any more operators out from Xrock for the rest of the game, that'd be great. But in a 2v10, you know Q9 are not going to be expending anything else.
Not at all. Chen still just trying to go from kill to kill, and he is. Whoa.
What?
That's not bad. Could potentially put together a bit of a streak here. Already has the Hunter Killer, already has the Claw at the ready. Dancing, schmoving. Little shimmy here, little shimmy there, but Chuan will put all those antics to rest as Xrock will take their second offensive attempt.
Yeah, still a little bit of a segment progression lead coming through for Q9 after the previous attempts. But Xrock still have an opportunity to potentially get a round 5 defense should it get there. Just comes out of this opening break off again for Q9 and their previous offense were so good at just assaulting the middle of the map. They loved it so much they're going to do it again.
Yeah, Q9 go 2 for 1. Ma only catching 1 this time. Smokes her out over towards the pillars side at B. Push forward here for Q9. Rushi, very aware of it, is getting the operators out. Counter from Chen though with the Claw, working this top jump window. Rushi on the hunt. This is the first. Swapping back off of the War Machine will not work out, and Q9 now have entrance on the A zone until Ma steps up. This guy doesn't miss. Oh my goodness.
Curly trying to at least get a little bit more done. Gonna invest the equalizer and just continue to run rampant all the way through pillars. Just Sparrow in Garage, by the way. He's trying to spawn trap you as Sunyo, but Curly on the opposite side trying to make headway over by the B control zone. The clock's still not stalled out as Chen will at least isolate No-No over by the rocks, but we gotta commit to something here. If you are Q9, you're running out of time.
And Sunyo and Ma, this double sniper setup continues to connect. Finally, Mauchi's able to deal with Sunyo, who had been alive in your backline forever. Ma also drops, so who's next here for this Xrock defense? Time down to 24 seconds. Focus for Q9 outside of this 1v1 is over towards B, and this is a 1v1, to put it plainly. Eliminations go the way of Xrock. Q9 still trying to desperately hold on to the B zone. Will get a second to progress, but here comes the collapse from the Xrock defense.
This has to be the attempt coming through for Q9. But it would be a massive moment for Xrock should they be able to stop it. 24 seconds remaining on the clock. They killed the player that was on the zone previously, but it's going to get captured regardless. 1 minute 20 to try to go to work. You're down by 6 lives if you are Q9. You at least have 2 operators should you want to have that, but you almost feel like this has round 5 written all over. Those are resources you probably want to save.
At least based on this current setup, a double stack towards bedroom. You've got 1 player watching the flank, and then you still have mid-map control with the crossfire setup for Xrock. This is perfect in terms of how do you set up an A defense. Just comes down, does can Sunyo survive through the War Machine? He does catch 1. That's enough to pull Uling back, and largely speaking, that doesn't modify the defensive setup at all because all of a sudden Sunyo spawns up, but he still has the ability to contest this flank.
Yeah, even going for the 1-for-1 is perfectly fine, but 2 responses do come through from Q9. 7 plays up against 13. Trying to at least get past the AC unit, but I mean, that good luck, have fun moment. Yeah. MG42 goes burr, then you have a head glitch. You had to compete against 125 bullets. Never want to see that, but there is some progress being made on the backside of the jungle here for Q9, who are now out of respawns.
That's the only option that they have. I mean, this double setup towards bedroom is so powerful. So Q9 has to default from playing around the back. They do not have the lives nor the time to finesse this. It just has to be good right here, right now. And it's just absolutely not coming through. 11v2. Mauchi working from the front. Final 5 seconds. Doesn't win his 1v1, so it all comes down to what Uling can create. And the answer is he can't create much. Round 5. Let's go.
Segment progression lead should still be there for Q9. So it's going to have to be an offense for Xrock should they want to take this swing map mode combination. They've been showing up in a big way in the past 2 rounds, specifically for Sunyo. 25 and 18 now. 23 kills now for Juan. But realistically, I mean, when you expend those last 2 operators towards the end of the round for Q9, you're much happier to at least see the defense. The issue is you didn't get the read. The push is over towards A, and the clock stalled early.
And even more importantly here, not only is the play on A alive, Xrock haven't committed an operator yet, so they still have the ability to use this in reactionary form once they get read what this defense is doing, which is now coming through money window. No, he's got the equalizers out, trying to re-wrap through Kitchen, finds the first. Curly trying to play off the heady, denies no any further action, who just has to sit here and wait. Not what he wants with these equalizers, so he's gonna try to force it, and he does find Chad. Back over towards window. Can he create more space? Does not see Sun initially, but as he makes the hop up, there's the third, and Xrock can pause the clock with focus on both zones now.
Movement wasn't the cleanest, but still value coming through from No. Ma is gonna invest the Annihilator. Roshi actually ended up pulling out the operator as well, but then got immediately shut down. The B push did not find success, but Mama has been accurate throughout the entirety of this series so far. The Annihilator running out of bullets. The Claw invested as a argument on the opposite side does find 2, so the clock will tick once again.
Oh, we've got Sparrow v boxing gloves. Sun able to take that one in stride.
Fight harder.
Off the spawn, Xrock spawning down towards the bottom part of the map at A, which they already have 2 ticks of progress done at, and early looks over the top of the site. Shots up towards window, good. Chen crossed up over towards Tiki, can't find any room to work with. It's just out of what Mauchi can create from backside basketball, and he's done well for the first, but the Claw puts him out of commission. Uling with the flash cannot stop the Claw from Chuan, and we're gonna get an extra 60 seconds tally with the capture at A.
Lives aren't 2 for a gone. Anything to find on transition would be massive for Xrock, but the exits could be that much better. Oh, a little slide bait switch with himself for Curly. Still takes down Ma, who has been having a great series so far. 12 plays up against 15. Ample time left to fight over, but look at the way that Xrock are still trapped on this side of the map.
Yeah, both teams putting a little bit of pressure over towards their opponent's spawn. Mauchi surprised by Chuan, who almost takes the double in stride. Not fully going to work out, but in the same breath, Sun also falls, trying to put a little bit of existential pressure on Xrock spawn towards Garage. So now, a flat-out battle. War Machine being spammed by Uling. Trophy systems are down, so everyone stays alive. Last 3 shots remaining. Uling trying to get aggressive, and he's not finding any value with that. That's the last operator for Q9. Yes, they have a 3-life lead, but there's a chance that Xrock can execute with this setup.
Have to start wondering how close they are to the rest of their operators. Still have the 2 available for Xrock. Should they get in a position to try to pull that trigger? They're just waiting, biding their time. 30 seconds remain. Nice snipe coming through from Sunyo. Gonna take down Uling. Could be an opportunity to push through pillars here.
They do know that this hit has to be efficient. Shots are starting to land. Sunyo has popped the Sparrow. Sun, did he just no-scope No at range? Looked like it. Doesn't make a difference. He gets taken out through a wallbang. 7v8. Operators now out for Rushi. Just trying to put the War Machine over towards backside laundry. Here comes Q9. They're trying to reapproach this from middle. They cross up the operator. Now it's just a 6v3. Xrock running out of lives. One more player in the zone will drop. 20 seconds remaining. Chen's trying to get aggressive, gets stopped out. Sunyo shut down by Sun. Just down to 1. Rushi would have to do this by himself. 1v5. Trying to get the cross up, but the heady is held, and Q9 will take the swing map in 3-2 form.
Tough situation to find yourself in if you are Xrock. Again, ample opportunities through a handful of rounds to try to win this reverse sweep of a control, but still, when it starts off the way and it's so consistent for Q9, it's realistically just their opening breakoffs for me, Alan. When they are winning those opening breakoffs so convincingly, even take that last round, for example, when they just completely all go over towards ring, they give up everything by the pool side, and they say, that's perfectly fine. Now we know exactly where you're located at, clear the jungle flank, go back through mid, through the rocks, 1 through bedroom, and everybody's exactly where you would expect them to be. Fish in a barrel for Q9 to win that opening breakoff, deny so much time for Xrock in that final round.
Unbelievable raid control. Unbelievable series to this point.
Yeah,
I mean,
banger.
Absolute banger. These 2 teams have a lot of history. Rivalries, to put it plainly. But Q9 taking edge in the series, but here is where the problem starts to come back into fold again, because now you got an APOC hardpoint to consider, and then a Kurohana for map 5. Who cares who picked it? It's going to be a square up. So we've got a lot more of this to come here, and I believe it's going to be just as fiery as we saw map number 1 on Apocalypse coming up.
I mean, you just feel so happy. Give some flowers to Pop as Q9 just
play the map extremely well, elevated.
Your thoughts, Ken?
and the United
位金库。
没换，
车库楼梯，跑到，
还有一个水下还有一个
快传过楼，一滴点两个有火，
利爪
死了，
花坛下一滴血，下一滴血，我来传。可惜了，兄弟有复活呀！不是你们看 L 位，中继漏了 ，L 位兄弟没掉的。
一个，花儿外墙
，L 位金库 ，B 有一个 ，B 去我们。
点98里，小心 L 位，
换了两个，中国可以有个
看 L 位，
画廊喷兄弟，他们接逼了，画廊喷减区，放屁股还有。不是为啥画廊得动呀？我的。
Dream as far as the start.
This has 5
Awards.
Things are essentially
Like water.
playing to boot.
all right. Well, it looks like it is time to get back into the matchup here. Map number 4 is ready to go. Let's see who pulls this one out.
Should be a fun one, and yep, there it is. Q9 will be starting on the right side of the map, so it's all about can they hang, can they hold, stop Xrock from flipping, build an early lead. And an early lead in COD Mobile does mean early operators. So far, so good. Nice little snap from Sun. Can't quite turn it into more, but you've got Shen and Uling right behind to pick up on the pieces, and the opening breakoff is great from Q9.
Yeah, look at the spatial awareness coming from Q9 as well. Just making sure that Mauchi is playing over by the tunnel side, gives it up, so a unique timing is currently being developed by Sunyo to get back behind the play. But everybody else from Xrock was just the bait over by Maps, but Q9 can do no wrong. The opening gunfights are superior from Q9.
Absolutely beautiful spawns for Xrock with 30 seconds to fight for. They can split their focus here. Put some pressure on mid, but also try to play this rotation. Q9 very aware of it though. This hold over towards the jump wall from Mauchi is exquisite. He's found 3. The solo player stopping the rotation, and now with 13 seconds, Xrock has to play through ult. This is exactly what Q9 wanted.
Just have to hold for the opening salvo. One player lurking through Maps was Chen, will be dealt with, but even sending a couple players late to just try to finesse with Black, bit of scrap time might just be a little bit more biting off than you can chew, but luckily enough, as the hill becomes available, the spawns over to the backside of the ruins are still there for Q9.
Smoke trying to cover this Xrock approach. Shen committing forward. Wow, this is aggressive. But meanwhile, over towards cave side, it was too aggressive. Q9 get caught. Now you're just down to 1 player in the back, and Xrock just get given a gift, which is the P2 spawn immediately into the hill, and now you got them in the blender. Oh, mistake from Q9 leads to an instant punish from Xrock.
Misstep one time, it turns into a Grand Canyon-sized Walmart for Xrock, who now have themselves a war machine early from Rushi. And you're just forced yourself just to go through the tunnel. I mean, not for a lack of trying. Q9 have been trying to send players up through mid, but it is being watched continuously by Xrock, who again punished Q9 and walk away with the majority of time on the money hill.
And the difference is, if you were to go back and watch the minimap as P2 opened to what we're seeing right now is Xrock continue to use No-No as an anchor. He's flipping back and forth between bottom temple and up towards top ruins just to make sure the spawns don't flip. That was something Q9 did not do, and now you get punished for it. Xrock now double the points of Q9. Fred Missile called in. They're going to win the rotation to 3.
And look at the trap that might just be coming through. I mean, pushed up a little bit past useless was Sunyo, so you will actually get a spawn out from Sun. How quickly do Xrock start to read this? I mean, they're in possession of the hill, but the pinch is coming through.
Yeah, Chuan able to turn a little bit, but not in time. Sun will find one from the back. Easy follow-up. That was the Sparrow out and countered immediately. EMP from Ma was also spent, or at least earned. Hasn't used it yet, as Q9 will now find themselves affected by it. Peer fire out from Chuan, clearing out the bottom side of the trenches. Tough angle to go much further than this point, but he seems to be feeling pretty frisky with help nearby. Xrock all over P3. Q9 having a tough time breaking through, and 23 seconds remaining. They gotta still try. You can't just default for the rotation yet.
Mob with the Gravity Vortex gun on top is going to deny a lot of space for Q9. Just trying to work their way back in, finds himself a good 2-piece there, and then from inside the hill itself, No-No gets to work. Purefire was wonderfully expended there for Xrock, just making sure that if you're not walking through the bullet hose that is the front side of this hard point, you're going to get completely ripped to smithereens by a Purefire on the opposite side. 108 to 36 after Q9 have themselves a great start on P1.
You do have Chen rewrapping this route towards the left side of the map. That is the preferred set of spawns. But Xrock aware of it, holding inside of the cave, and at least simultaneously for a moment, they were inside the chicken coop. Ma still trying to hang on, but that's cleared out by the Purifier, who can now take all of its focus over towards the front. But once again, Q9, they don't know where the spawns are. You do have a bit of an anchor around the back. That's good for at least another elimination, but Xrock will wait for these operators to expire before they hit, and they actually just walk right in and deny it. Now the claw's out.
Ants in their pants, trying to at least find value with their operators as they just sprint inside of the ruins to their utmost demise. So now the claw needs to find value, but Rushi gets their second war machine in this map number 4 and rips them all to smithereens. No now with the equalizer. Gonna try to at least meet everybody trying to jump out from the ruins, and it'll work out quite wonderfully for Xrock in the first set of hard points. Allen, 140 to 46 is where the scoreline looks like it's going.
You gotta remember, this is after Q9 had started this map off flawlessly.
Yeah.
They stopped their early rotations. They find 90% of their points in the first 2 hills. It just has not been able to be recovered since Xrock broke that second hill. So now we've reset. And Q9 are now fighting from behind the 8 balls. They have to be the ones to break through the hill and break through the setup of the spawns that Xrock have in their favor.
Yeah, let's just put it this way. Across 4 different hard points, 36 of Q9's current was off of P1 and P2.
Yeah.
It has been the Xrock show consistently. Now you're gonna have the split spawns coming through Q9. They're focused mostly around the objective, but nobody's into the backside of the temple. Those spawns are very much so still open, and Xrock are looking to reap the benefits.
Yeah, Q9 not fully aware that there were kind of parallel spawns on the right side of the map, but they have done nicely over the top of the hard points. So that will at least stabilize things on the hill. Problem is, it also stabilizes the spawns in favor of Xrock. So now the rebattle starts to come back through. Well, we got 150 to 66, the current score. Xrock trying to commit back into the hard point, but being denied largely just from the front. So there's a chance here where Q9 can set up a break attempt to try to flip these spawns around.
And Malchi was just outside of maps. He actually had a really good angle on the players for Xrock that were playing around P2. Gave it up, trying to help out his teammates to get back inside of the time. Sunyo is finessing with the Fennec in and out from maps. P2 is about to pop. And you can see all of Xrock on the mini-map. They are guarding the temple.
Oh, they're trying to just hit this from the front, but oh no, the Purifier gets pulled out perfectly. Chuan cleans everything up for 3. Q9, you cannot get lazy here. You have to still play through the middle of the map because the Purifier's still alive and well. Finally shut down, but a Gravity Vortex gun takes its place, and it's just misery meets company for Q9 right through cave. They're still trying to force their way through because they have to. 35 seconds, but still Xrock spawn close, and they will still get more time here on the second hill.
I mean, what do you do now if you're Q9? Desperation was yesterday's news. Now you just are forced to fight for every single bit of time that you could possibly find for yourself, but the resource management from Xrock is absolutely exquisite. Find value with one operator, it gets expended. Find its value with the Gravity Vortex gun soon after, and now the War Machine from Rushi, all for 10 seconds, but it is just dagger or grenade after grenade that is just blowing Q9 out of the water.
Oh man, you never like to see a map get this far out of hand off of what was essentially just one mistake.
Yeah.
But that's really what it comes down to, and now it's not a snowball, friends. It's a full-on avalanche. As Xrock will be close to the 200-point threshold. 50-50 battle on either side of the third hard point. Gunfights currently trading in favor of Xrock. Also operators at the ready for both sides. Who uses what? Patience starts to come through. No off the backside of the play. He could hit this pinch with the equalizers whenever he sees the time to, and as Curly drops it, maybe now as Xrock have a full surround. Q9 desperate to try to find some time.
Well, some with the Sparrow was hoping to find a little bit more value. Takes their own life away. No, now with the Pred missile going to open up the floodgates just to fly on forward for Xrock, but Q9 previous in a superior position, down to 20 seconds. Equalizer now called for no.
He can just put the game away right here, stop this rotation from coming through. He's also building on potential streaks. Curly seen up top on the ladders. Shots not fully landing, but now an opportunity to come around from behind, and no! Able to rip things apart. Scrap time going the way of Xrock, who can now take all of their respawners up and focus towards the new hard point.
You do have one player that needs to go big. It's going to be Chen for Q9. Player number 3 in blue is going to be watching all these players trying to meet out from the temple side, and is big enough to find 2. Now you got 2 players trying to lurk around the useless buildings for Xrock, trying to make sure that Q9 feel pinch as the pinch is starting to come through.
You still got to find 160 points before Xrock finds 26. Not good news, but it all starts with one good hill. And it very well may be right here. Fourth hard point set up nicely. War Machine out. Split focus trying to come through for Xrock in terms of how they hit, and the War Machine doesn't quite get all the way into the cave, so the shutdown is there. Now the Purifier trying to take its place. That's also put out of commission. Now it's just down to the last couple of members with no operators to fight for if you're Q9, and they will get pushed back over towards the bottom right side map, which is not where you want to be. Xrock a chance to put the game away here.
Oh, Q9 thinking that they could have had an opportunity to try to work their way through the chicken coop. Not the case at all. Mosh shutting down the tunnel side with the gravity vortex gun.
Ma also gets to read that there's a split spawn situation. Can no longer win here, can Xrock, but again, it just feels like it's way too far out of reach for Q9. Two operators ready for Xrock to put this game away. Last couple of seconds go in their name as well. 241 to 109. Chen has to just beat Giga Chad right here. And he almost whips on the first. Curly follows up, the trades are in, and Q9 will have a chance to extend the game a little while longer.
Operators on operators for Xrock. What is going to be the beginning of the end here will be Rushi. They'll open things up with the War Machine. Q9 are still maintaining presence around the hard point. They are already playing for the future, or Xrock should P1 not go their way.
Well, War Machine out only does really do mitigating damage. Doesn't really find too much in terms of kind of pulling things back. This is doable.
It is.
Improbable. Odds in Vegas aren't good, I'll tell you that much. As Chuan will find two, shutting down Curly on the equalizers. Here's the play forward for Xrock, trying to win the game. Some respect being shown here, though, as Xrock are trying to really wait for a full setup. Smoke will encompass the entirety of the middle of the map. Nades through it, not largely landing onto Q9. But there's the eliminations you need. 3 for 2 the exchange. Xrock will hop on in, and with that, we will go to map number 5, pending any further antics from Q9. One last contest, enough to get us to a new hard point, but No has shut the door on any potential comeback, and Xrock will see us go to Kurahana as soon as they open up the hard point, 250 to 149.
It's just crazy that the one mistake that happened for Q9, who did start off this map just as perfect as you could possibly imagine, favorite side of the map, win the opening gunfights, get 30 points on P1, and you hold the rotation over towards New. You get punished for not anchoring out the temple spawns. That once that comes all the way through, what would you feel like the extra 50 points or so that they were probably looking at getting there is ultimately the biggest difference maker in between this game being competitive and where it currently was residing at. Because you got to see, again, much like how in the Hacienda, that Q9 did win, they are constantly trying to fight for rotations, but getting a little bit ahead of themselves and benefiting from it were Xrock continuously, specifically for Sunyo. I mean, talk about a selfless route man that was constantly getting paid. More often than not, always first on rotation. More often than not is always the player in those very annoying positions cutting off reinforcements, because Q9 were just so gung-ho about making sure that they at least got to the objective. Sunyo was the one setting up his team for all the damage to be peppered up before they could actually sniff the zone.
Yeah, there's one moment in particular, and call this your shift breakdown through the replays. It happens right as P2 opens. You see it happen off Q9 spawns. Xrock is starting to find success on exiting from the first hill. Q9 are reading that it's going to be a play over toward... No one's...
Every single time we talk out.
In terms of identity, is that both of our two teams showed us moments of full-on raw aggression. So that's taking place in the interiors of mid, whether that be Howie there,
but as you hold a
always led towards, has been one of those. Large part of this squad for Xrock didn't make it to qualify to champs last year. They had a really good run at CDSI in 2023, but it wasn't enough for them to earn enough points to earn their place at champs. So it was one of those things of, what does this team have to offer with another global series set in front of them? And they have provided every step of the way here in 2024. But can they continue to do what they've barely been able to do throughout the year? And that's take an edge over their Chinese counterparts in Q9, who are looking for that sweet revenge and a chance to get to the grand finals for the first time. Here we go.
Losing, go home, win, grand finals bound. Up through mid immediately. Look at Q9 getting a little aggressive, trying to get back behind B cuts.
Oh, watched by No, but not able to deal with the shotgun pressure from Jet. They also have a read on Ruchi, who is in trouble and gets flat out overwhelmed. Last defensive player nearby is Ma, and he has to respect that Q9's offensive hit has found success, and as he backs up, he makes it more manageable. What? He gets 2 by himself waiting for help? And now all of a sudden it's a 3v2 for Xrock.
Look at the pinch, it's about to be coming through. Chuan is moving as swiftly as possible. Wuling's going to elect to play at least this close corner.
Oh,
Gets scouted out. Chuan's flank comes all the way through. 3v1. Chuan will find 2 as well. Ma, the magic maker. Fantastic stuff coming through yet again out of Ma with a sniper rifle in hand. It's like we never left takeoff.
Unbelievable. I mean, that is a perfect execute from Q9. You smoke out the first cross, you stun deep, you find success, you isolate onto players rocking long-range weapons with your shotguns and your SMGs. Ma has to forfeit the site, but he doesn't forfeit anything. There's no retreat. He's like a Spartan. You stand tall, you deal with the pressure. And he saves the round for Xrock, who now find themselves a little more aggressively situated over towards the A side of the map with a different crossfire setup at B.
Always got to be worried about the rewrap so long as Ma's alive. It may be a sniper rifle to some, but that is a close-range weapon in that boy's hands. Currently lurking around on their side of B are Q9, just waiting for any stun information that will connect onto at least one. Here comes the push.
That was a smoke that gets denied by Trophy. So now you're committing through this with no cover, and Xrock are cleaning up. That is legitimately just smoke meets Trophy. Because you have to throw that from so far, you don't know if the smoke is going to land or not before you have to commit to the execute. And the final play through mid largely gets shut down. Q9 did a decent job of trying to trade this back, but it still rests with Sun. 1v3, pressure from the low ground is enough, and that is legitimately just Trophy beats Smoke, Xrock beats Q9 because of it.
It's a very obscure way of explaining rock, paper, scissors, but, you know, it's again one of those things why you typically do see a stun grenade go over first. You need that immediate information. If it's not going to be a nade, it needs to be a stun for that smoke execute to come through. Trophy systems are quite powerful, yes. Xrock win the opening 2. Patience paying off quite wonderfully. But they are getting a little bit more aggressive in the middle of the map. They were expecting Q9 to go back to what they were doing in the opening round. They are throwing late nades that will land. The trophy system just a bit outside.
I love this,
but everybody's still alive.
I love this from Xrock. You just have Sunyo pruning flowers. Misses the first. Isolation coming back. Q9 respecting the fact that that deep smoke had to be countered. Nades over the top from both sides, and that will lead to a full reset. Trophy system still alive and well for the defense at B.
Where do you start to go here if you are Q9? How much utility do you honestly have left? Well, here comes at least some over the top. A nade actually got thrown over inside of A cuts defensively, so they're not going to get any information. But here comes the swarm around the B site. Trades will favor that at Q9. They're going to get the bomb planted.
Yep. Keep in mind, though, Ma's still alive. This time he will not try to hold his ground. He'll rejoin his teammates as Chuan tried to make a quick hit, comes on the contest. Not going to happen. Curly shuts it down. Just up to Ma. 1v4 now. That's down to 3. Curly, next one up. Shot towards Sun. Patience trying to come through for Ma, but overwhelmed. And I love the call for Q9. You have to respect the defense's smoke. You throw some things back, you re-clear it, and then you just flood them. Love the idea.
Even saw right there at the end, it is Ma alive. Do not give them any individual gunfights. Should be a double shot every time. Round number 4, Q9 changing things up ever so slightly. Very similar defensive setup. You do have 3 players around B sites, some stuns, smokes coming through the middle of the map just to deny any sort of antics that Malchi might try to find. But Sunyo's going to see a couple players try to cross through A Street, preserves his life.
Yeah, missed a chance right there, though. He has the Beaker's advantage, counting toes underneath the trucks. But Q9 are going to pull off a tactical retreat, knowing that Xrock are likely going to commit forward on this. They don't, though. They still trust that Sunyo can hold his own on this long cross. He will not anymore be able to play through A Street. He has to hold this angle for pretty much the rest of the round. So there will be an advantage for Q9 numbers-wise if they decide to actually execute over towards B.
It's going to be a stack through the middle of the map for Q9. It's probably their best bet. Maybe get a little bit of a delay push out of Sun. See what he can find over towards his B Street. Isolation on Ma. First blood has finally been found, and the raid boss has been dealt with.
Yeah, flash over the top once again. Rushi, Odin in hand, trying to hold the corner. It's actually going to be nicely counteracted as Ruchi able to get a little bit of help from Nono. Trades are decent. Recontest coming through. Xrock looking to go quickly. Shut down. Just down to Sunyo. 1v1 with Mauchi. Here's the challenge. Not going to happen. Shotgun beats Sniper. And we got ourselves a 2-2 tie.
You can hear a pin drop in the middle of Kurahana Metropolis when there's a minute already exhausted off of the clock. Just the swarm over towards the B site, isolating players. This is what Q9's been able to do this entire weekend, all year long, candidly speaking. Just overwhelming presence. It's going to be going back towards that A push. One player still lurking for at least towards the middle of the map, but it's the same exact rinse, wash, repeat. Sunio gets away with his life, but leaves Chuan back behind. Does go 1 for 1.
Yeah, Curly is going to be left forward to try to scale deeper in towards A. Smokes will dissipate. Here comes the next bit of action. Mom watching one cross. His teammate and Sunio watching the other. Tucked into a corner. Quick action comes through. Sunio able to connect. Ma still in the corner. Does he find a way to break this? Whoa, that is a slide if you've ever seen one from Sun. Oh my, shine bright. Opportunity for Mauchi to hit the pinch late in Q9. Overwhelmed the defensive setup of Xrock over towards the opposite site.
In the response this time around for Xrock, any sort of alteration, Sunio was there again, but the difference was Chuan just playing a little bit further up. So you feel like going 1 for 1 would be fine, but Q9, they just do not relent. They just continue to push all the way through, and they overwhelm Xrock again. 3 in a row now. Nades over the top. It's a forward approach from Xrock. Look at all the defensive push that's coming through over by the A cut, but no one's here.
Yeah, this was Q9. All 5 frag grenades sent towards that back corner at B. They were looking for a nade first blood. It doesn't work, but at the same breath, you also know there's no trophy there. So you get the smoke down, and now you can escape through B. And only thing in your way is Chuan with a shotgun, which means nothing's in your way. There's the smoke separation. Here comes the plant, and it's going to be on Xrock, who do have a utility advantage to try to hit this retake.
The bomb has been planted.
Timing for the exit. Chuan has an R9, so don't expect him to ego chow here. Not into the unknown. Yeah. But we are still waiting for at least a flank to potentially come through from Nono, all the way through mid. There's a lot of focus on the flank, though, for Q9.
That's the last smoke for Q9. Chen just trying to use that as a way to separate. Chuan trying to move his way back in. Here's the contact. Curly stunned, shooting the ground. He can't find a way to get things going. Xrock finding eliminations. Curly will drop. Now you got to just find the last player to move on through. That's going to be on the player number 5 in Sun. Cannot get back in time. It's an expensive hit from Q9. They use everything, but they get the plant. They just think Xrock is going for the flank. Not fully the case as they recut back through mid.
Again, you had 3 players watching the flank that time around for Q9 as we will switch sides. And when you take so much of an immediate focus towards the flank, once the hit finally comes through over by the B cuts defensively, you're just not going to have your numbers there in time for the trades nor the assistance. So tied up, 3 apiece, 3 in a row for Q9 on that offensive incursion is no easy feat.
Yep. Trophy systems denied towards B, but look at the Q9 aggressive defensive setup. High-low setup in the B cut. Mauchi just waiting for contact before he pops the Type 19. And then you got your scopes watching every single outer angle. So lots of investment for Q9 trying to really congest the middle of the map here.
It's got to be so annoying. I'm just getting antsy just thinking about how Q9 are just holding these angles. That's exactly what Xrock want. An elite utility that they might be able to find over by the B bomb site. No trophy systems guarding it. So a wood ring on true, but they're currently stacking up together to try to assault this B bomb site all together. I'll tell you, Chen's about to be in a rude awakening.
He's got an MG though. MG go burst sometimes.
They do.
Smoke out deep. That's going to take the angle away from Wuling. Nade behind that. Defense at mid, starting to rotate over to help on the angle. Chen finds the first before being shut down by Sunio. Follow-up hit, not fully in yet. They do get a player deep though, do Xrock. They've scaled through the B site, and now they're trying to see if they can wrap this over through mid, but it's being shut down. Again, Q9's congested of mid-map will work out nicely, and the last hit remaining for Xrock has to come through the up top platform.
And bomb needs to get recollected. Ma's hoping to be able to find a pick, loses their life within the process. Down to Chuan. 1v4, no bomb in hand, decides to push all the way through, gets timing at least a good look at the second, but just gives away the positioning for now. And it gives Q9 the utmost opportunity for the win condition to be set. Stacked together. Bad timing through the middle of the map. Don't give Chuan a chance here as he only has 10 seconds left.
Here comes the collapse. Both players out, little slide shell out, and it's perfect from Q9. Yeah, that's that mid-map stack. Works out absolutely perfectly. Xrock anticipated there was going to be maybe more on the site. Not the case. They almost get baited into the B point. And that's enough for Q9 just to completely collapse on it with some counter nades of their own. Really well done.
Patience can only pay off so long as you win the upcoming gunfights, but when you're holding scopes and irons the way that Q9 worked through the middle of the map, it works out quite wonderfully for them. This time, there is some focus to the middle of the map. Very similar offensive setup coming through, actually 1 for 1 if I'm being candid with you, Alan, but the difference here for Q9 is on the defense. Look at the stack around the B-bomb side.
Trophy systems this time deny the early Xrock nades, looking for that first blood towards the backside at B. Sunio, small advantages here at mid. Smoke will separate the B cut, so he can hold the angle a little bit more freely. Desperate nade for Q9 defensively towards mid steps, denied by an offensive trophy. So now we start to get the action towards the actual execute itself. And it's a 5-player stack towards B. Pressure on the way for Q9. As soon as they decide to flash and dash, there's the flash, here's the dash. First shots land as the stun connects, and Xrock will get entry to B.
Yeah, luckily enough, it's going so cleanly, but Uling still playing in the corner with the Odin, at least even things up. Sunyo still committing towards the bomb plant. Now it's need to get in a better position for a post plant, especially with the scope in hand.
Xrock defaulting to play their post plant on site. One player watching the flank. Rushi watching for the hit through the defensive spawn. Nades are being cooked. Can they isolate one of these corners? Flash out first. Nade doesn't quite get to where it needs to. Mauchi takes himself out of the picture. Oh no, he cooks it maybe a little bit too long, or it caught a corner. That was supposed to be a flash nade combo, and instead it bounces back into the sender's face, and that's enough for Xrock to tie us at 4.
Yeah. Slight little mishaps coming through for Q9, who realistically had every single bit of presence that they needed to deny that push, but just comes down to the execution and the unfortunate SD. So, aggressive this time around are Xrock. I mean, they are just straight sprinting through a cut. It's going to be a 1v1 for Chuan. Delayed attempt coming through for the trade. Denied. Shot KRM in the face.
That is how you don't double chow 101. Timing not great on that corner. And the Q9 will punish as war happens with Mauchi's reload. Sickest skin I've ever seen in my life.
For real.
And Q9 hold a huge numbers advantage. 5v3, first contact, good. Sunyo gets one, gets away, makes this more manageable.
Trying to book it. Trying to get back up towards this A street to maybe work a little bit of an angle. Look at the flank coming through. Curly. Q9's so smart. They know they have a slight little bit of an advantage. She's going to play in this corner. And just
Curly knows he doesn't have to do anything here. This is full map control for Q9.
Oh, they're trapped.
Yeah. The only way that this works out for Xrock is if they recognize the potential of someone watching this flank and they try to slide shell everything together.
Right.
But you just wouldn't anticipate them doing that from this position.
I don't want to cut out any possibility of Xrock still watching this. Sunyo is alive. Ma still has a sniper rifle as well. 3v3, 37 seconds remain. The bomb's collected, and the flank's not coming through. Rewrap neither. So Curly might have to get a little activated here. Yeah, here he comes.
Oh, nice shots coming out. Sun able to find the connection with Chen, and then the follow-up is perfect. So Q9 evaluate the threat. They get the map control. They know they've got Xrock completely taken care of and enveloped over towards the A side of the map, and it works out. 5 for the count. Xrock need to find a way to respond.
I sure do. The aggression was looking so good until the disjointed double chow. Probably not going to be seeing that again, as it's pretty standardized. Just split the map. No double trophy through the middle of the map, not this time around. Just hoping to be able to find some nades, maybe get a little bit of a pop flash, go for a swing. But Xrock love playing all the back of their base. Maybe catching Q9 off guard if they over chow, but they haven't this entire time. They're completely comfortable playing these close corners.
This evaluation for Q9 is really, really smart. They know that the B side has been a little bit more loosely guarded, and so now you put a player deep. That's Chen, shotgun in hand at mid steps. He could also re-wrap a play if there is an execute on B. So they're looking to kind of play off of quick contact, but instead it's Sun over towards the A side of the map. Opening shots towards Rushi were good, but not good enough as the first blood is tallied, and Q9 are dealing with this play towards A, but it's just a fake. This is expensive from Xrock.
They stun-naded over the top, got the information, didn't like what they saw from those hit markers, and now they're going to try to re-wrap through mid. Curly's playing a timing with a Type 19 through the middle of the map, fully aware of what's happening. But how would you ever expect what the defense still looks like over here at B?
Yeah, Chen's moved. He's got himself a shotgun watching for the drop down. Can Xrock get a flash in sight? There are no trophies nearby to keep Chen safe, but he's also playing a very odd off angle. A beautiful look at how this hit is going to develop. What is still available for Xrock? Here comes the walk down, not even bothering with the sprint. Up and over, one shot from Chen will land. No trade involved. Looking for more. Q9 have completely overwhelmed the shot. Ma by himself, almost, he gets the second. Good reset, tag down low. 1v2 situation, isolates, gets him down to half, but can't finish. Q9 are on match point.
Match point versus Xrock. Is history doomed to repeat itself here for Q9? Will they take down Xrock again in such similar time where they were at CDSI in that best of 7? just 1 round away from doing so. Xrock have had no response on the offense so far, so they're just going to go straight towards the A lane and probably hit it relatively fast.
Yeah, I think the thing about this is you know for a fact what this sniper angle looks like. Deep trophy system in play. Smoke over towards the backside of the site. Nades, secondary smoke, also placed towards back truck. Xrock looking like they want to commit. Another trophy on towards the site. This would be good to at least allow a plant to come through. Can Q9 contest? Do they want to? Secondary nades are good. Stops the plant. Sun still holding the angle. Doesn't get the first look. It's chaos around the front, but Xrock are winning on the trades. Just down to 1. Sun for the win. He's got the 1v1. Can he find a way to isolate this? He knows that Sunyo's playing away. They also know the bomb is down on the site. And Sunyo's gonna reset.
Sun just gonna elect to play the angle. Oh, this timing is about to be immense. They're about to meet each other around the corner.
Sun for the win! Yes! He finds the angle! Q9 takes down the #1 seed and their rival from China to punch the first ticket in the grand finals.
Happened at CDSI. It happens at DreamHack 2024. Q9 go the distance. Everybody, ourselves included, I'm willing to throw us under the bus, had Q9 written off should this go to 5. Not the case at all. So prepared for Kurohana Metropolis. So prepared just to play the patient game and just wait for all the mistakes that Xrock were throwing their way continuously through all of 11 rounds worth of play. Q9 on that defense were electric.
Wow. And you can even see the deliberation, the debate happening of what went wrong for Xrock on those last couple of rounds. Regardless of it, this is a team that was very patient, having a great end of the year 2023, but missing out on qualification for the champs. They come back into this year with an absolute fury, dominating their opponents, taking the edge over their rivals throughout the regular season. But when it matters most, both at CDSI and here at World Champs, they could not best Q9, and they will finish at a top 4 standing.
What else can you possibly say? I mean, they have every bit of tool at their disposal, from the sniping, from the oppression that was coming through from Curly and the respawns, Uling with the War Machine and the respawns, but then you just cannot give enough praise. Chen with that shotgun displacing a handful of different members of Xrock continuously, and then also the sniping and the overall grit that was coming through from Mauchi and Sun. Just absolute spectacle to have for themselves. Q9 are grand finals bound.
I mean, you said it yourself, Shift. Bare minimum, making your way through to the next stage of the competition was a $90,000 performance. And that is honestly, I feel like that's what we got out of both of these teams. They were fighting tooth and nail to try and make their way through to the finals. This is the closest back and forth we've seen up here on the main stage the entire weekend. This was such a well-fought battle on behalf of these teams. It's unfortunate that one does have to go home, but holy